Espresso machines doubled in price. The features tripled. The coffee? Barely changed. Somewhere between a $200 machine and an $800 one, you stopped buying better espresso and started buying better marketing. Today, we fix that. I've tested 8 espresso machines across 5 price tiers to find out exactly where the marketing ends and the actual coffee begins. A bad pick here costs you more than just money. It's 6 months of bad mornings and a machine you resent every time you look at it. So here's what you'll know by the end. Which machines genuinely pull a better shot, which ones are buying you a logo, and exactly what to spend at each budget. No sponsored reviews, no filler. Just the gap between what the box promises and what lands in your cup. At $287.98, the Givi 20 bar is selling you a compelling spec sheet. Built-in conical burr grinder, 30 grind settings, NTC and PID temperature control, steam wand, 20 bar pump. On paper, that's a lot of machine for under $300. The problem is that on paper is doing a lot of heavy lifting here. With a 4.5-star rating across 1,594 reviews, many owners are satisfied. But the data trail beyond that gets thin fast. Thin enough that I genuinely can't tell you how it holds up at month 6. That's a real risk at nearly $300. Feature bloat is a real thing in this category. The more a machine tries to do at a given price point, the more corners get cut somewhere. A grinder, a frother, PID control, customizable shot volumes, all crammed into one sub-$300 chassis. Something usually gives. Who should buy this? If you want one machine that does everything and you're willing to gamble on long-term reliability data that isn't there yet, maybe. But the next machine on this list earns its price with receipts. The Breville Barista Express costs $499.95 and makes one very specific promise. Beans to espresso in under a minute, no separate grinder required. That integrated conical burr grinder is the whole pitch. You're not buying an espresso machine, you're buying a workflow. And at this price, that workflow had better be airtight. Here's what the spec sheet actually delivers. PID temperature control means the water hits the right extraction temperature precisely, not approximately. Low pressure pre-infusion ramps up gradually, pulling flavors evenly before full pressure kicks in. Those aren't marketing words. They're the difference between a balanced shot and a bitter one. 27,551 reviews at 4.5 stars and a bestseller badge. That's not a fluke. That's a sustained verdict from a very large sample. The gap between this and a lesser machine isn't subtle, you taste it. The honest caveat, $499.95 demands flawless execution every single time. If the grinder calibration drifts or the machine needs service, you're not dealing with a budget gamble. You're dealing with a premium headache. Best for the serious home barista who wants a real grinder built in. Not for the casual drinker who'd be just as happy with a pod machine. Up next, the one that actually has me second-guessing this ranking. At $203.96, the Givi 20 bar promises a lot. Built-in burr grinder, 20 bars of pressure, 35 grind settings. On paper, that's a serious spec sheet for the money. So, does it deliver? Mostly yes. The 35-step grind range is genuinely useful. That's more granularity than most machines at this price give you, and you can feel the difference when you dial it in. The conical burrs keep noise reasonable. Steam wand works. Microfoam is achievable. With 4.4 stars across nearly 1,900 reviews, buyers aren't lying. It's a competent machine. But here's the honest read. Competent isn't exciting. Nothing here underperforms and nothing here surprises you either. It's the espresso machine equivalent of a solid B. Which is fine unless the thing right above it at a similar price is pulling an A. And that's the problem with sitting at rank 3. The Givi earns its place for someone who wants grinder-included convenience without overthinking it. But if you can stretch even slightly, the next 2 picks make this one feel like the safe choice you'll eventually upgrade from. That stretch? The AMZCHEF is exactly where you land. At $189.99, it ships with features that machines at this price normally use as upsell bait. Pre-infusion, PID temperature control, a built-in grinder with 20 settings, all in one box. So the real question is whether any of that actually shows up in the cup, or whether it's just spec sheet theater. Let's stress test it. The PID system holds extraction temperature between 197 and 205 degrees Fahrenheit across 3 adjustable levels. That range isn't arbitrary, it's the window where most specialty roasts extract cleanly without tipping into bitter. The pre-infusion runs between 3 and 10 seconds, which gives you genuine control over how evenly the puck saturates before full pressure hits. That reduces channeling. Less channeling means more consistent shots. The grinder claims 20 settings and a 30% improvement in extraction consistency. That's a marketing number with no independent verification I can point to, so treat it accordingly. What's real is the flexibility. At 4.3 stars across 130 reviews, buyer sentiment leans positive, but the sample size is still thin. Not yet proven at scale. This is the precision pick for the methodical home barista who wants real dials to turn. If you just want coffee, it's probably more machine than you need. That brings us to the one that actually surprised me. At $169.99, the QZMAX Espresso machine with built-in grinder is our number one mag, and here's why that's not crazy. You get a 20-bar pressure pump, a conical burr grinder with 20 grind settings, a 360-degree steam wand, and a 60-ounce removable water tank. All in one box. Under $170. The previous pick costs more and ships without a grinder. Think about that for a second. The 20-bar system handles pre-infusion, which means the grounds saturate fully before full pressure hits. That's what separates flat espresso from actual crema. The grinder has a dosing ring so grounds land in the portafilter, not on your counter. Small detail. Huge daily quality of life difference. Now, honest caveat, 194 reviews is a thin sample. Real-world long-term reliability is still unproven at scale. Check current ratings before you buy. But on specs per dollar, nothing in this lineup touches it. This is the pick if you want a genuine all-in-one setup without paying cafe machine prices. So, let's cut through it. 5 machines, very different prices. And the gap between what the marketing promises and what you actually get in the cup is where money gets wasted. Durability separates the mid-tier from the pretenders. Some owners report grinding inconsistency within months. Grind precision is what brew consistency actually depends on, not the brew pressure number on the box. At each price tier, ask one question. Does this beat the option below it on every metric that matters? If the answer is no, you're paying for branding. The specs per dollar winner is already clear. The overall winner? That's next. Here's where it lands. Under $50, skip it. You'll be back on Amazon in 3 months. 50 to 100, one clear winner in this range. It earned that spot on actual performance, not packaging. Over 100, only pay it if the top pick justifies the gap. In this case, it does. The specs per dollar math is not even close. Stop second-guessing yourself. The right answer for most buyers is already obvious. Links are below. Subscribe if you want the data, not the marketing. Links are below for current prices. They move fast. And tell me in the comments, which one are you buying?